let's go to client development. All right, so if you come to any of the other webinars, we've done a ton of webinars on Blazor. We've done webinars talking about WebAssembly versus server side, all kinds of flavors of ASP.NET. And Blazor does let you write full stack web applications with C# instead of JavaScript. And by the way, for you software leaders who are running a team, or if you're funding a team, from a workforce perspective, you don't have to have .NET developers, oh, and then some JavaScript developers. You have one developer type, .NET, and now C# kind of goes everywhere. So consolidating your development stack is a huge benefit. And Blazor is one of the fastest growing workloads on .NET. And it's supported both models since 2020, Blazor server side, Blazor WebAssembly. Blazor WebAssembly is huge because it uses the client's CPU and the client's memory space in the browser. And so it really shrinks the amount of CPU and server side on the server to be similar to running web API endpoints, which even more resource friendly than ASP.NET MVC, because you're not even putting together the screens on the server side. So there's a lot of new capabilities that just came out for Blazor, that just came out in the last 11 months in the .NET 6 time frame. The download size of Blazor WebAssembly is smaller with .NET 6 than it has been, and there's a lot more native API coverage. Also, even without MAUI, you can run Blazor UI applications natively inside of a WPF application shell or inside of a WinForms shell. And I did mention the popularity of system tray applications, just to give a little bit of native flavor on otherwise mostly web applications. The few little screens that native application might have to have when you click on a menu option of the system tray application, those screens can be Blazor components. And they're not they're not running WebAssembly. They're not server-side rendered. They literally are rendered in a web view control, but they're running natively. That code is not being emulated. It's not cross-compiling to WebAssembly. It is native Windows code. So it has access to every native Windows API, kind of like the Action Center, to do pop-up notifications and whatnot. So that's really interesting. All right. Fluent UI components is something that also came out within the past 11 months. If you've tried Blazor and found the number of controls, the UI controls, to be lacking, and you were going to Radzin or Infragistics or DevExpress or any of the other vendors that put out components, Microsoft has added some more components. Look for the Fluent UI components, and so you don't start with nothing just by not pulling in a third-party component suite on day one. So give that a look. That's kind of interesting. That came out. That's in line with the .NET space and the capabilities.